This conference will now be recorded.
Oh, my coat was stuck, 'cause, well, I wasn't working. God, make it stop. But then that's what happened, they get posted, like chilled.
Dave's on his way. He called me.
Okay.
He goes, do I have EDA tonight? I'm like, well, I'm leaving there now.
He lives in the boonies, so it'll take a while.
He might not, I don't know, I worked on campus today. So
Oh.
I don't, he might not.
Well, we can get started without him. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
The corrections I made on the memo, because our finance committee met after I sent the agenda out. So it's just a different memo. The agenda is still the same. There was some additions to it. And I did not highlight them, so that was good.
Is there a motion to approve the amended agenda?
I can do that.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Regular meeting minutes from November 20th.
Going on end of 7A. Missing a D on Carrie.
Carrie.
That's pretty good when that's all we got to do is get that nitpicky. On the carried unanimously on 7A.
She was here.
I'll make a motion to accept the regular meeting minutes from November 20th.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Opposed? Abstained?
I wasn't here either.
I think we decided that
You can.
you
vote.
still
Yeah.
can vote, but
Okay.
if you would like to abstain, you sure can.
Yeah.
No monthly financial report.
So it's easy to check too. Mr. It will be on our next one. It'll be under 404. Hit it.
Any comment on the abatement correction? That just apparently went to a different account and needed to,
Yes.
okay. All right, I make a motion to accept the monthly cash sheet for the month ending November 30th.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. No public hearings, old business, visitors guide.
Yeah, so the visitors guide, we're looking for February. So what I'm gonna do is dive into that in January and our meeting in February, as far as if there's any big changes. I did get some from Bob. I got some from James Hill, our librarian. If you go through that and you see a change that you would like to have made on our pages, will you please let me know? I would like to update pictures of schools, and so on. But other than that, you know, Peter will be working with businesses for advertisements. And like I said, this, you can see the list of pages here. And I think we'll update, like I said, a lot of pictures. As far as the visitor's guide goes, I feel as if does a pretty good job. If there's something in there you'd like change. I don't think we'll put a year on the front again. That seemed to be a good idea to not put a year in. Maybe change the photo of the bridge. So, and that's, yeah, just an update.
restaurant loan.
So Mr. Finney came in, accepted the terms of the loan, and I got the check yesterday, or Tuesday, one of the 2 days. And I walked by today and they were putting the hood in the restaurant, so there was a kind of mix up with the contractor and the inspector. Something was going on. But as of today, they connected those two and they should have it going, putting the hood in, so that's good. And so he's accepted the terms of the loan and, yeah, we get that up to date. Hopefully get a new restaurant in town, which I think will be very.
That's the only holdup is getting that in
Yeah,
apparently.
getting that hood updated.
Okay.
There was a guy today up on the roof of that place.
Yeah.
That would be chilly, it was just chilly looking at him.
Get our own margaritas.
Maybe it's a bring your own BYOB.
That's what that's called, setups. You bring them up.
Some states do.
That's all, yeah, yep, just updating them.
7A, new business, Anderson Vet Clinic.
Yeah, so you remember when Rachel was in here, she submitted an application, got it in on Tuesday. I think I emailed the application to everybody. It's quite the application, she did a fantastic job on it. And you can see the land they're looking to buy is this Webster and Sons up on North 58. Well, it's already one parcel. I don't
Okay.
know why they have the 4. If you see the blue number down there, yeah. So that's the land, it's roughly 5 acres. Is it this parcel or that? All 4.
All that, the triangle and the
All
square.
All 4.
What are those, looks like vacated streets or whatever? What are
It was
those?
probably supposed to be a road.
Yeah, it's supposed to be so what Anderson Vet Clinic is looking to do is they want to buy this land, and then they're going to take 1 to 2 years to see what they can do to fit something on there, their vet clinic. Walnut Street, for those of you who know this, I'm sure all do, is gravel. And this is Highway 58. This is the right of way owned by MnDOT. So as of right now, they are not allowed access on 58.
Mhm.
So what that means is they would have to improve Walnut Street from road to road to make it, because there's going to be trucks going in. So questions that we're going to get in the future, and this will probably be more on the planning department side of it. People are going to be worried about smell, animal noises. I mean,
They're like
a lot of things coming out.
300 yards from a feedlot. They're not gonna be worried about smell or,
Yeah, that's what you think. But, I'm just saying, there's more likely going to be, because they're coming from up here down to here. They're going to have kind of like a drive-through. Their goal is to process animals. They won't have any big animals. They won't have any like outdoor pens or anything for the animals to stay overnight. They will have small animals overnight.
Check them in, check them out.
Is there,
Yeah.
These big
At their
animals.
clinic.
Like cattle, bring them, but they won't put them in a pen.
so was it the intent at one point to have a street there?
I believe so.
And is there any easements or anything?
Yeah. So that's one thing you're gonna have to deal with is, and they've seen all this before, and they're gonna have to bring water and sewer from this side up to this side of the lots, and they're aware of that as well. Spoken to Mike Wilson about
Okay.
that. So what they're just looking for in this loan is just to purchase the land, and if they purchase the land, and Rachel said, worst case scenario, if it doesn't look like there's something we can do here, then they'll sell the land. But that's their goal, is to
And that, what's it zoned now?
agriculture. So it'd have to be rezoned to commercial.
Okay.
So, the land, I think right up here, which you can't see is commercial, and this is residential. And this is all agriculture. And agriculture does not allow a business, so that's why they have to rezone it to commercial.
Even that small squares plot behind,
All this right here.
that's all agriculture, huh?
So we had a meeting yesterday, Brian, myself, Kim, Dave, Virgin was there by heart.
Right, yeah. I got this other thing going on.
It's all right. So we met, discussed the terms of the vet clinic loan that they're requesting. They're gonna hopefully purchase those 5 acres. They've been in Zimbrota since 1991. They employ 7 full-time vets and provide services to 6 counties in Minnesota and 2 in Wisconsin. They have 5 full-time and 10 part-time staff. They're requesting $129,800 for land purchase. Group's going to explore options, the new land over the next 1 to 2 years. The finance committee came up with the following. So what we agreed to is to fund their request, and they would get a loan for $116,820 at 3% with 10% forgivable, which is $12,980. The loan can be either 10 or 15 years. It'll be from account 404. The EDA, which many of you know, have given large sums of money to people before. Steve Johnson got over $200,000 for where the current Mosaic site is. They gave the school over $100,000. I think it was like 12 years ago, what Kim said, for sites to build houses on the golf course. So yeah, I'm looking for a motion, either for or against, to offer the loan to the Anderson Vet Clinic. If you have any questions, hopefully I can answer them, or maybe Brian can too.
So moved.
The only question I have would be if, when you've done this before, there's been a definite purpose in mind. They're saying they'll investigate that, but they may end up reselling. Is there any issues with that you guys have talked about, or?
No, we talked about term, and hopefully they will decide what they're gonna do within the next 2 to 3 years, if not sooner. And if they do proceed with the construction loan, the EDA will have a mortgage on that property, so they will have to do something with that mortgage, which would mean that they would probably pay us off then at that point. If they decide not to build, then I'm guessing they're gonna remarket it soon as well. So I don't see this being a long-term type of commitment for the EDA and a loan, even though they could have 10 or 15 years to repay it.
Sure.
I think they'll deal with it within the next 1 to 5 at the most, so.
They've been a great business in town, so.
Well, we looked at the merits of it, and obviously, they had been looking for something outside of the city limits, so we felt this was a very good opportunity to keep them in their tax base in Zimbrota.
One of the big things in communities the size of Zimbrota is lack of vet clinics, access to. So being in Zimbrota will be very beneficial for the citizens and people in the area.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion's passed. 7B would be the update to the EDA positions. And I had actually requested this on there because somebody's term should be coming to an end.
I think Lindsay's trying to get off this board.
No, I was up last year, so I just started my second term, but it's very confusing because of all of the turnover that we've had recently. So I think we just need to iron out who is due when.
Tina's took over,
Terry
Terry.
Johnson.
Terry's spot. So you will fill his seat for 6 years.
Don't I just fill the rest of his?
The remainder,
The
but
remainder is.
Right, excuse me. So he started January 1st, 2022. That's what I meant. Yeah. So you'll be here until 2028.
No, I started in January 2022. Terry was on here when I was still here, so he's.
this is what we've got to figure out, because I think our numbers are wrong.
Right, but if I took his spot, he was on EDA for at least 2 years. Right?
Well, he started with Dave. He and Dave started together.
But they can't start together, so one of them had to fill somebody else's seat. That's
So every year
where
there's
the
a.
confusion, because there has to be somebody turning over every
When
year.
did you start?
I had
1912.
Because we had a
That's what it feels like.
vacancy.
We had a vacancy for quite a while.
So they might have started at the
1st,
same time.
2022.
That sounds right.
2022. So now Tina will,
Replaced Bill Eberhard, because Bill was done in 2020. So somebody should have started, or a seat could have started January of 2021.
Open for a while. I was never on the.
And then it was Brian.
Yeah.
So Brian started his second
And
term.
then we had Dave Starr, and then Dave
Rich
left.
Meyerhofer first.
Yep,
Somebody would have started January of 2023, and then me, and then Dave. It's Dave's term that is ending now,
okay,
but who filled Dave's seat?
good question.
Well, we'll have to look, because there could be a bylaw in Woodland Park Board. If you fill less than half of the term, it doesn't count as a term.
And we do not have that.
But there also isn't a thing that says you can only choose.
so Lindsay.
Yeah, there was, yeah.
But we can't find it.
Who do I need to figure out?
Yeah.
So,
Respect,
so somebody will be taking Sarah's spot. Sorry, Sarah. I
But
didn't
that's
bring it up.
council, we don't care about
Well,
them.
yeah, but it's a council, that's council driven,
Okay,
so
so that would be okay.
someone will, they'll put someone on from council.
And we'll still have Dave, which started in 2022. Now, does he go 6 years from 2022? Or did he take over a spot?
who are
Dave
we?
Dolan.
That's what,
I think that's the question.
yes.
Dave Stars?
Oh,
I was never on with Dave Starr,
that might have been the
so
one.
that's.
So you might have
probably-
replaced him.
Yep, I
Okay.
think that's exactly it.
And I don't think that will be replaced right away either.
Uh-uh.
That one sat for a little bit. We'll look back at the minutes tomorrow.
So like, for example, Bob started January 1st, 2023. Did he take over for
He
somebody?
took over for Rich.
Rich, who was done. So he starts 6
You're
years.
brand new.
Okay, so he's,
His term, your term will end the end of 2028. Todd, it doesn't matter.
Last that long.
He's council. Sarah doesn't matter. She's council.
so Tina's years,
Because I've only been on this since last year, so maybe that is right. But I feel like Terry was on in,
Terry
No,
started
he
the
was-
same time that Dave did.
No.
That's what I have.
You took over for Terry, right?
it did, but Terry was
I don't
on
know when he
when
started.
I was on from council, and I was off council all of 2022. So he was on before then, I feel like.
So did he fill Bill Eberhard's?
Maybe.
No, Bill's been gone with that.
Bill's been gone
4 years.
since 2020.
I can call Terry
That's
if you
what I'm saying,
want.
maybe Terry
Uh,
started 2021,
Yeah,
maybe.
could have been.
I don't
So
remember.
Lindsay, you'll have another term.
I am in my second year of my second term.
So Brian Howden started January 1st, 2016 is what I have.
Yep, so Brian's second term will end in 2027.
Okay. We got Dave, Sarah, Todd. We got Bob. We got, I just got to figure out Tina's length.
So yours ends in 28.
Mine ends in 2020. I just ended in 23, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2029. I have you ending in 2028. So 27, 28, 29. So there should be a 25
Then our meeting in January,
or a 26 in there.
we'll select officers.
It's,
Can you clarify where you're reading? That it's 2 6-year terms?
so the reason I looked is back when Ryan was here, he had sent that out. And have these been updated?
These are the ones I have.
Okay,
That makes me wonder where Ryan got the one that. got.
because it for sure said 2 6-year terms.
Right, and
Because
Billy and
Rich had said the
both
same
don't
thing,
do
yeah.
that.
That
And
we
they were done,
Working under that assumption, yep.
so,
So we either need the one added back into here.
but now you're gonna make me dig, because I think that email was from like 2021. I'm a saver,
Jeez, you must be.
I am. I think so, but I don't know if I can find it on my
Well,
phone.
you can send it to me
2009,
if you find it.
Might have to.
2009.
Yeah,
you don't have to look.
Oh, this one, older, probably last 15 years.
But, okay, I started looking into this because, well, since we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 members, we don't have a position open. But Dan Johnson, the welder in town, has expressed interest in potentially joining our board. So if we do ever have another vacancy, he is somebody that we could potentially reach
So
out
it's
to.
5 members with 6-year terms, so there's gonna be a period of time.
Yes.
Where, yeah.
So,
Really, 5 members or 5-year terms.
They changed the charter.
Yeah, that's the weird part. Yeah.
Updated the 5-year terms.
And who's gonna be
5-year.
off then coming up?
Well,
I'm the closest to going on.
But you don't have to go off. Apparently.
If it's still 2 terms.
Because this is getting towards the middle of his second term.
All right.
I'll be,
who do we think you took over for, Dave?
I think
I
he's
was-
over with Dave Starr.
Yeah, I was never Dave.
Okay, so then Dave would be ending this year, so you would be starting your second term.
That's right.
Correct. Because Dave Starr's term ends at the end of 2024.
January 20, so he'll go till 2030. 30?
30.
Oh my God, 2000.
That's what I did.
That's nuts. Marty McFly just flew back to 2015. Jeez.
So that's what we think, and we think Tina filled Terry's.
Maybe the bylaws should be looked at, updated.
So Terry would go until,
I'll try to put together like a spreadsheet that we could have.
Terry was 20. Terry took Bill's spot then, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
Because
so
I
21.
remember we were out there, we were at some big fan thing when they doing something.
But yeah.
And we're like,
with
hey, you
that
should
lunch.
really join EDK.
26. So your term would end in 26 then. So nobody will end next year in 25.
Around 26, 27,
28, 29,
28, 29,
30.
30.
So, okay. And I'll look for that email.
So then we just want continued business.
Yes. So we'll vote
Bylaws.
next month, obviously, but we'll,
They're going without a vice president for a while.
yeah, because Terry would have been vice president, wasn't he?
Oh, so I'm up, that's what you're saying. Terry, Tina, Terry, Dave, all confusing. And Brian is just Brian.
yep, I'll be pretty old by the time I expire.
Okay. That's it on new business, correct?
Yes, that is it.
And then reports, update on Keller Bartman.
Yeah, we haven't received any updates from the Keller Bartman as far as the offices that I know. We received the grant and that's been the extent of it. I haven't seen or heard anything since it, so.
I'm probably breaching a little bit of confidentiality, but their purchase agreement is being extended. So I think that's going to close the end of January now. So they are still working towards acquiring the property and setting up some sort of demolition for early spring, I believe. At least the last I heard.
Because originally it was supposed to close this month.
End of this month.
Okay, so I found it. I'm gonna go back, I'm sorry. Should we finish this discussion and then we'll go back? There's
Think
not
that
really much of an
discussion's
update.
finished.
I think so. So there must have been a line omitted from here, because on the one that was sent, it says, right after the 6-year terms, members may serve a maximum of 2 consecutive 6-year terms for a total of 12 years. Members may be reappointed for additional terms after a 2-year absence. So it's
That's what I
between
remember. There
paragraphs
was a
2
break,
and
'cause
3.
I feel like Billy took a break and was back on for like the course of something throughout.
So, and that document was attached to the minutes from January 20th of 2020.
Can you see when the revision of that document is?
Or can you just forward it to?
Maybe the next
Lindsay?
meeting or maybe in the minutes you can see that they changed the charter.
Okay,
Could be.
it doesn't have any,
Got both the minutes.
Could do for the next meeting though and read the minutes for this meeting and see
so,
if they did something.
Half of us were there.
I can't remember, was I on it then?
3/4 of us.
I can't remember yesterday, so. There we go.
I'll be like, motion by Tina, strike the term limits. Oh, no, don't remember that. Because I
Maybe
like-
because we were having such trouble getting people to join that we just said,
Yeah.
I don't
I don't remember-
remember ever striking it,
and I don't
but,
either, but
I don't either.
we'll have to look.
so,
I want to go back to the Keller Bartman just a little bit. I'm still not happy with the parking arrangements. So you're going to keep hearing it until I hear some further discussion on it.
About what? I
Well, right now,
Catch me up.
we can park 14 to 16 cars back there on what I would consider to be public parking. They're gonna go to 19 parking spots along the side. Only about 8 of those are probably public, which means they're privately owned, the rest, which means they could prevent other people from parking there for their residents. So that becomes an issue for the downtown. And that was one of the big reasons we had meetings, so. Anyway, it's something that I think needs to be addressed with them. And I'd like to see all 19 of those parking spots be public parking, not private. There's not,
of the 19 on this, correct me if I'm wrong, on the side of the building, only 8 of those will now be public parking.
roughly, it's hard to determine because they're angled parking.
The other ones will be designated apartment only.
It's on their
Whereas the city
property.
lot now,
Because it's on their property, because it's the main property now. They're just being utilized as public, but they're not really public.
Not being utilized because it's a ramp coming
That's
down
gonna be-
from the,
Yeah.
there's
they're gonna
14
rework that a little
public
bit.
parking spots now.
well, there's, yeah, and I think it's mostly on public property. Now, the thing that helps is the access to them. Because the bank property's been used to access those spaces.
Sure.
But the point is they've been used. There's been times they're full. And that's gonna disappear.
But there's a whole lot right here. Where the hell am I? We're there,
Yeah,
right? That's never full.
I think I just think that we're, you know, the thing that we saw was just a initial plan. So I think we can work with them and try to get as many spaces
that's all
as
I'm
we
asking.
can.
You know,
Yeah,
I'm not
absolutely.
I'm not against the building. I'm looking at the future because I've seen this become an issue in other cities. So,
And I look at it as all the cities that I visit, like say Lanesboro or Stillwater or, you know, places that have a nice shopping and they're thriving because they have downtown living, they have, or in the case of Lanesboro, bed and breakfast, but they've got that base and parking is always an issue. And yeah, I get that. So I hear what you're saying, Bob, and hopefully,
well, it's,
I'm not gonna be on it anymore, but I know
I think they were really reasonable when we.
they're easy to work with, so I
when
think
we
that
did
they
that other
can,
building.
you know, they're gonna really do their best to
I
make
think
everyone
we talk
happy.
to them because all the other places that they've built, they've had quite a bit of private parking on their spaces in other cities.
Oh, I was like, this one.
This one,
Which-
in Zimbrota, they've been taking public parking to supplement their private parking underneath their building. That's the only, you know, we're giving away the public parking to them in a way for their inhabitants, which is just something we have to deal with. But the question is, how do we?
So the businesses that are down there, that's not their parking, right? So like you
No.
don't pay for those parking
No,
places.
but it's grandfathered in, it's been part of Zumbrota forever.
I think, I looked at that, you know, when they first brought it out, and I saw that there's such an opportunity there to reline some, because there's no, it's just haphazard, you know? And
Definitely.
so on the side of the alley, I think there can be parking spots next to the buildings, but they're just not lined so that people don't know to park there, you know what I mean?
So
I
restructure
think
the
that-
whole,
I think
the
we're gonna,
whole
and
parking
restructure
situation.
everything and try to figure out and get as many as we possibly can, for sure. Is what I would, I mean, I'm not gonna be here anymore, so it's all, yeah.
so will there only be one access? There won't be a, you know how you go like through the bank
It'll be a
drive-through?
drive-through alley, but if it's one way or what, I don't know what the plan is.
That's
But it
all.
will still drive down into there.
Yeah, it was all, on their plan, it was all angled parking one way, going like
I don't think it's.
from the
saw it.
north to the south.
There's a, you know, they get deliveries, so we have to have some way to get in there.
Yeah, I don't know, I thought they were easy to work with when we put up the other one.
Mhm.
And that parking wasn't, that was an issue. It literally no parking.
Yeah, there's just gotta be some discussions with it
We know
by somebody.
what their, do they have any vacancy there now? And what their parking situation looks like at their current building?
They mentioned that, so they're mandated to have like 2 spaces per apartment or whatever,
Right.
so that's the issue.
Right.
But what they're finding is that it's all retired people, a lot of retired people that are moving in there, and they get rid of their second car because they don't need it.
Yeah. That's why I was curious,
So they're saving
like,
money that way without having 2 cars.
are they parking
so
on the street?
they're
Is
gonna
their
have-
underground
they're gonna
full?
have
Is
a-
they've got a side lot, is that full?
A lot of, or potentially quite a few spaces that are not going to be used by them. But to build it, they have to have this many.
They have to claim so many. That's why I was
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
do we know what is currently happening at there? Do we know, is everything underground full? Is their side lot full? Are they actually parking in the street right now? I don't know.
I see a little bit of parking there, but not a ton.
Okay.
I don't know what it looks like underneath, but,
Usually see 3 or 4 in the morning
Okay.
that are parked on
the
West
street.
Avenue.
yeah, but it's not a ton, I don't think.
There was some comments at the hearing about it can be a little bit difficult there. I think one of the city workers had mentioned that it's, you know, plowing streets in the winter and stuff could be an issue, so. But I don't know how you get data like that. They'd have to give it to you
The what?
as far as what's being used.
Oh, yeah, I was
Yeah.
just
They
curious.
get ticketed if they're parked there during plowing time, so it's no different than any other street.
I don't know if that actually gets done.
Oh, it
Yeah,
does.
It does.
They're in here all.
Oh, it
not happy.
does.
Anybody who got a parking
Who
ticket.
got ticketed?
They've been warned, they've been told, they've been told, they've been warned, they've
It's
been
been
put
marked,
everywhere,
it's
and then
been
they start like, we
advertised.
didn't know.
The
Every
first snowplow of the year.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They started that November
Yes,
1,
they
but
only get
Yeah.
ticketed if there's snow events.
No, I could see that.
So every time.
They only get ticketed for snow events. 'cause
Yeah,
you can park
okay.
there any other
I didn't know it was snow. You have it
What
on your
is the
phone.
definition?
Everyone's
of
got
snow
it.
for
Watch
plowing?
the news.
anytime they go out,
But it's-
which is pretty vague.
Yeah, very.
But 1 inch, if they go out, they're getting ticketed.
But if you're a usual parker on the street, the cops go around in the, before November 1st and put flyers on your window saying, hey.
It's
Snow
reminders.
ordinance.
Like they've done everything
Mhm.
to avoid the people coming. Only time people come to council meetings.
I move we adjourn.
Second that. Meeting's adjourned.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you. I didn't put that on the record. I'm sorry.
See, you don't care about me.
Sarah.
She
It
said-
wasn't on the
Sarah doesn't
agenda.
matter. She's reading the thing, she'll, Sarah doesn't
Be
matter.
curious to see what they come
Out,
up
I'm
with for
like-
the vet clinic.